Sunday. The temperature dropped about 10 degrees over the weekend, so today my family was out looking for our pet pig, 'cause he was lost. For the Christmas holidays, my family went away and we left the pig in a kennel. But I guess the pig thought it should have come with us, and it wasn't too happy about being left behind. When we got back home, the pig let us know how it felt about not being included on our family holiday. It pushed a vase off a shelf. Push. Smash. After a few days of the pig acting out, Dad decided enough was enough, and he sent it to obedience school. But the next morning, we got a call from the lady who runs the place, and she said our pig escaped. Ah! We've been putting up signs asking for help finding our lost pig ever since. But that thing is smart, so I don't think it's lost. It just doesn't want to be found. I figure the pig is probably off hibernating somewhere. Mom says pigs don't do that, but if you ask me, I think they should. If I was an animal, that's exactly what I'd be doing right now. On the last day of autumn, I think everyone should get into their pajamas and check out until the spring. I'd walk into the living room in my pajamas and say, "See you guys in May." When I was younger, I actually tried to hibernate, but it didn't work. I used to get super excited for Christmas, and once December rolled around, it was really hard for me to wait until the big day. So one year on December 1st, I told my parents I was going to go to sleep and that they shouldn't wake me up until Christmas morning. I was pretty surprised when they didn't put up a fight. I went to bed that night, but I only slept until 1:30 p.m. the next day. Then my sleep schedule was screwed up for the next 2 weeks. Stare at the ceiling in the dark. Blink, blink. Stare at the ceiling in the dark. Blink, blink. Mom says it's impossible for human beings to hibernate, but I'm not 100% convinced that's true. There's this group of wild kids who live in the woods, and everyone calls them the Mingos. You never see the Mingos in the winter, and when they make their first appearance in the spring, they look like they just woke up. So, if they're not hibernating, I don't know what they're doing all winter. The rest of us normal people have to grind it out and deal with the cold weather. And the only way to do that is to stay inside as much as possible and keep warm. When we got back from our trip a few weeks ago, there was a package on our front step. It was a Christmas gift from Aunt Dorothy, and when we opened it, there was a giant blanket inside. That thing was amazing. It was really soft, but it was also heavy, which is exactly how I like my blankets. The only problem was that the gift was for all 3 of us boys, and we started fighting over it right away. "Give me the blanket." "No, I want the blanket." We wanted to use the blanket at the same time, so Mom told us we were going to have to take turns with it. But the 3 of us have never been any good at sharing, so Mom had to make a blanket schedule that spelled out who got to use it when. It said blanket schedule. 6 p.m. Manny, 6:30 p.m. Greg, 7 p.m. Roderick, etc., etc. But that wasn't really fair. Manny has his own blanket, so he was being greedy. When it was my turn to use the blanket, I tried to make the most of it. But it was really hard to enjoy myself because Roderick would start hovering over me when I still had 15 minutes left on my shift. Hover, hover, hover. We each got 3 half-hour shifts a night, but Roderick would cheat Manny out of his turn by taking the blanket into the bathroom right before Manny's shift was supposed to start. Then Roderick would sit in there for an hour, which cut into my shift. So I'd pound on the bathroom door, pound, pound, and there he would be sitting on the toilet, wrapped in the blanket. So, Mom made a rule that we can't take the blanket into the bathroom. One night, I slept with the blanket in my room, and Roderick complained because he wanted to use it while he ate breakfast. Mom made a new rule that said if you slept with the blanket, it had to be returned downstairs by 8 a.m. By the end of the first week, there were so many rules that Mom had to put them all in a manual, which ended up being something like 25 pages long. It was called Blanket User's Manual. But that didn't solve our problems, and eventually Mom took the blanket away to give it to someone who deserved it. She said it was our fault we couldn't have something nice because we didn't know how to share. And she kind of said, grown-ups are always talking about how great sharing is, but personally, I think it's overrated. And if I ever get enough money, I'm going to build a big castle all for myself, and there's going to be a big, heavy blanket in every room.